Hi, and welcome to Terry Talks Movies. This time around, I got some new releases from Imprint Via Vision, which are pretty good. Some of them I like a little more than others, but I'm going to save the best for last because there's a box set here, which is mind-blowing. So let's get started with the lesser films, but still films that are interesting in their own way. These are from 1978 and 1979, and they're remakes of Hitchcock classic films. One of them is an adaptation of a John Buchan novel. The other one isn't. So we'll get started with The 39 Steps and The Lady Vanishes from 78 and 79 respectively. I've rewatched The 39 Steps, which stars Robert Powell and John Mills. David Warner plays the big bad in the movie, which is kind of cool. And it's about an adventurer called Richard Hannay, played by Robert Powell, who gets involved with a plot to prematurely, before World War I, get England to go to war with Germany for reasons. Hannay gets set up as the killer of the character played by John Mills and has to escape and run away and go into hiding and jump on and off trains and across paddocks and all sorts of things, while still trying to find out how exactly this plot is going to be carried out. Solid adventure film based on a novel which you can get on Gutenberg if you want to. It's in public domain now, all of the John Buchan, Richard Hannay novels. They're good stuff. A little bit of a slow start to that one, but still very good. And the other one, The Lady Vanishes, with Sybil Shepherd and Elliot Gould, is kind of interesting too. It's a little bit lighter in tone than The 39 Steps, but it works in its own way. I mean, you can't argue that they're as good as the Hitchcock originals. And there was a version of the 39 Steps done in the late 1950s with Kenneth More in them. But still, they're fun. They're entertaining. And they have got a prestige release now. On the back, of course, you've got the card, and I will read you what's on the card in a moment. Elliot Gould hanging off a train. And inside the cigarette box is the artwork as it originally appeared in the 1970s. So you've got the 39 Steps artwork there, which I really like because the gun turning into a train is very, very cool. And it is a nice piece of art. And there we have The Lady Vanishes. Extras on them are 39 Steps, 1080p high def from a 2024 2K scan. Remaking a classic, an interview with the executive producer James Kellum Clark from 2025. Hannay hanging on, an interview with stunt coordinator Colin Skeeping from 2025. And the stunt work in this is pretty good. There are prolonged scenes of Robert Powell hanging off Big Ben. Every second counts. An interview with film historian Sergio Angelini from 2025. On location with Robert Powell, an archival featurette and a trailer. So lots of extras on that one. Then we have The Lady Vanishes. I'll read you the blurb for this one. On a train travelling through pre-World War II Germany, madcap heiress Amanda Kelly, played by Sybil Shepherd, is befriended by an English nanny. When Amanda awakes from a nap, she discovers a kindly woman has mysteriously vanished, yet others on the train claim she was never there. Interesting little mystery film with a kind of picaresque adventure. The extras on this, it's a 1080p high-def presentation from a 2K scan of the original 35mm negative by Imprint Film. Disappearing Act. Elliot Gould finds the vanished lady. An interview with actor Elliot Gould from 2025. The Last Hammer. Interviews with the production crew from 2025. This was the Last Hammer film. The End of the Line featurette from 2025. And an archival interview with actress Angela Lansbury from 1978. And you get a teaser trailer and a theatrical trailer. Inside the two of them, you get, strangely enough, a disc and some of the photography from the movie. And inside the 39 Steps, you get the disc. You get Eric Porter playing the police inspector. Follow up a nice release of these two films, which tend to be a bit forgotten because I can't recall whether they ever got, actually they did get a DVD release in Australia about 20 years ago. I definitely know 39 Steps did because I've got it. I picked it up at an op shop. But it's good they're getting a Blu-ray release, upgraded, restored. A lot of those DVD releases from 2 decades ago were pretty shoddy. But these look crisp as hell. Next up, I'll do the 2 4K releases. This one from 1988 and won one of the actor's Best Actor award at the Oscars. Both of these 4Ks have lenticular covers and inserts up with them. And first up, we've got Barry Levinson's Rain Man, starring Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman. Dustin Hoffman plays Raymond Babbitt, a man who's an autistic savant, whose brother Charlie, played by Tom Cruise. Never knew he existed. He was put into a home when Charlie was a very small child, and Charlie's a bit of a chancer. He's trying to sell some Lamborghinis and he's having problems getting them through customs, and his father dies. And his father's left most of his money to the nursing home where Raymond is. And Charlie finds out Raymond exists and then takes Raymond on a cross-country trip so that he can try to convince the people who are running the nursing home and Raymond that he should have the money, basically. Greedy guy gets his comeuppance and also gets to find out that how to be a better person. It's one of those kind of Tom Cruise movies of the day. There's the back of it. Also has Valeria Golino in it, an actress I like a lot. Inside, we've got a picture book with a lot of the production art. There's the groovy Studebaker they get to cross the country, and inside you have a lot of the pictures from the movie, all done very nicely. There's Valeria Golino. The extras on the movie, and I'll do that before I show you the discs. This is, by the way, Blu-ray and 4K. Dolby Vision 2060p ultra high def and a 1080p high def presentation, depending on whether it's the 4K or the Blu-ray. Audio commentaries by the director Barry Levinson and the writers Barry Morrow and Ronald Bass. Featurette The Journey of Rain Man on the Blu-ray. Lifting the Fog, a look at the mysteries of autism, a featurette on the Blu-ray, which contextualizes autism. And this is one of those movies that were done at a time when actors could win Oscars by playing people with various kinds of disabilities. Daniel Day-Lewis did it. Dustin Hoffman did in this. And then it got mocked by Tropic Thunder. You know, there were ways to win an Oscar by playing somebody with a disability. And they mock that trope in the award system. And ever since then, it's kind of dropped off a lot. And people with disabilities are getting to play people with disabilities, which is a much better option. This is a limited edition of 2,000 copies. And on the back, underneath the card, you got Tom Cruise manspreading. Yeah, that aspect of it where you've got an actor without a disability playing somebody with a profound disability doesn't play as well now as it did in the past. So you've got to take that into account with this film. There's the inside disc. Well, not the disc, inside case. There's the back of it. And inside you get the 4K and the Blu-ray. I'm getting better at that flipping. And of course, you do get the lenticular cover, which doesn't show up very well on the video, but believe me, it's there. I haven't rewatched Rain Man. I did see it back in the day, and there are aspects of it I really liked, and there are aspects of it I found a little problematic, but still, it is a classic movie now that we're in the 2020s, and it was made in 1988, so you've got that as an option. Then we've got the one that's much more interesting, female director Catherine Bigelow, who has a new movie coming out soon, by the way, which is called A House of Dynamite, which looks really, really good. I'm looking forward to that one. It's getting crazy buzz at a couple of film festivals. But this is her film from 1991, Point Break. This one was remade in 2015 and was remade really badly. But this is your OG one. Again, this is a limited edition of 2,000 copies. You got the hard case, you've got the lenticular cover, which isn't quite as lenticular as the Rain Man one, but it's still pretty good. On the back, you got Patrick Swayze surfing. Of course, Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves are the stars in this. It's also got Gary Busey and Laurie Petty in it. I'll read you the blurb. Maverick FBI agent Johnny Utah, played by Keanu Reeves, is sent undercover to infiltrate a group of surfers who are suspected of being the ex-presidents, a notorious gang of bank robbers. While working on the case, Utah is drawn into a new lifestyle and friendship with charismatic adrenaline junkie Bodhi, played by Patrick Swayze. And there's a profound bromance in this. Utah also acquires Bodhi's ex-girlfriend, played by Laurie Petty. So they're sharing a fair bit here. There's a definite undercurrent, which is not totally unlike the undercurrents in Top Gun. There's a card, of course. Extras. The 4K special features Dolby Vision 2160 1080p ultra high def, audio commentary by film critic author Patrick Bromley, and a theatrical trailer. Blu-ray special features, which are on a separate disc. 1080p high def presentation, audio commentary with Patrick Bromley. Bring Your Flavor, an interview with actor John C. McGinley from 2025. John C. McGinley plays the FBI chief who is running Johnny Utah and his partner Angelo, played by Gary Busey. It's Not a Fluke, interview with actress Laurie Petty in 2025. Death by Honor, an interview with writers Rick King and W. Peter Iliff from 2025. Feeling the Stoke, interview with a surfer gang, Bojas Christopher and Lee Turgeson from 2025. They played two of the ex-presidents, the surfer gang who robs banks. It's a make or break featurette, on location Malibu featurette, Ride the Wave featurette, Adrenaline Junkies featurette, additional scenes, still gallery, and theatrical trailers. So you got a lot of stuff on the extra disc you get in this one. And you also get art cards in a nice little envelope. There's a nice little envelope. And the art cards, there's Keanu being violent. That's what John Wick looked like as a young man. Play with that one in your head. Here's Angelo, played by Gary Busey, sitting down on the job. Patrick Swayze as Bodhi. Patrick Swayze as Bodhi disguised as Ronald Reagan, setting fire to a car with a petrol bowser. There's the Richard Nixon member of the gang. And here's Bodhi and Johnny Utah skydiving. There's a lot of action sequences in this. The movie really did well with the action sequences because they had new portable camera rigs, which enabled the cameras to be moved around and to be strapped to stuntmen, which was, cameras were big in those days. They're not a little thing I've got sitting on the desk here. And so the new camera rigs enabled a lot more motion to be done in the action sequences from the camera's point of view. And we get a lot of that. It's something else that Catherine Bigelow used in Strange Days as well. And it makes the action more immersive than it would have been otherwise. Got a couple of provisos about the ending, but I'm going to tell you about those in a moment. There is your plastic case for the movies. Well, the movie and the discs. There's your 4K. There's your Blu-ray and your Blu-ray extras disc. Then the movie is annoying and funny at the same time. It's funny because the ending of the movie takes place ostensibly at Bells Beach here in Victoria, but they filmed it in Oregon, and it looks nothing like Bells Beach. If you've been to Bells Beach, you know. If you've been to Oregon, you know. Looks nothing like Bells Beach down here in Victoria. Do a Google Maps search and you'll know what I mean. That's the bit that's funny. And when you see the car going past a sign saying Torquay Pharmacy, when you know Torquay's 5 kilometres from the beach, it's very funny. The other part is there's a decision made by Johnny Utah at the end of the movie that I find inexcusable. Big decision he makes at the end of the movie. I'm not going to go into spoilers with it, but I wanted to smack the guy in the lower abdomen, if you know what I mean. Nonetheless, a good action film by a fine female director, and I'm very glad it's got a 4K release. Right up until that ending, I was there for this one. Now we have the piece de resistance. The Cinema of Powell and Pressburger Collection 1. This is the one that has the buzz. This is the one all the people I know on the movie collecting groups have been talking about. This one is The Cat's Pajamas. So many fantastic movies, so many extras. There's the front with David Niven and Kim Hunter from A Matter of Life and Death. There is Deborah Carr from Black Narcissus. On the back underneath the card, which I'm going to carefully pop off, you have Powell and Pressburger's logo, the arches. And on this side, it tells you the movies. And I'll read you the movies because they are the first movies that Michael Powell and Emery Pressburger made together. The Spy in Black from 1937, which was their first film. 49th Parallel. The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp. A Canterbury Tale. A Matter of Life and Death, and Black Narcissus. Fantastic movies. Each and every one of them was fantastic. I rewatched The Spy in Black a couple of days ago. Incredible little spy film set in World War I, because it's made in 1937 before World War II was a thing, about a German U-boat commander played by Conrad Veidt, who sneakily creeps onto an island in the Scottish Hebrides so that he can gather information about naval movements there so that the U-boats can torpedo all of the British fleet. He meets up with a spy played by Valerie Hobson, who is disguised as a local school teacher. Meanwhile, all sorts of spy stuff goes on. His submarine's waiting off the coast, and he has to get back with all the information so that the subs can destroy the English fleet. Spoiler, doesn't happen, but it's a bloody good little spy thriller. It is fantastic. There are twists and turns. There are deceptive characters. There's very fine acting. Valerie Hobson is really good in this one. And the guy she is ostensibly seducing to get the naval information is played by an actor called Sebastian Shaw. And people who have seen Return of the Jedi have seen Sebastian Shaw. He was the guy underneath Darth Vader's mask at the end of the third Star Wars movie. Much older, but he's in this movie as a major character. Can't recommend these movies highly enough. I will show you the films, and then I'll tell you about the extras. And all of the covers on these have original artwork from the time the movies came out, so it's got a very period feel on them. There's a spy in black. I'll read you the extras as I go. Special features, 1080p, of course, they're all 1080p, so we'll assume that for all of these. Audio commentary by film critic Kim Newman and Joe Botting from the BFI. The BFI restored this movie magnificently. I've seen a previous copy of it, and it was crap. This copy is beautifully watchable, crisp, black and white. Celluloid Miracle, an interview with Powell and Pressburger film scholar Ian Christie from 2025. A Dazzling Start, an interview with author Charles Barr from 2025. Because Powell and Pressburger were put together to make this movie by Alexander Korda, who was the producer. Pressburger did a rewrite on the script. Powell was directing. Between them, magic happened. There's the first one. And then we got the 49th Parallel starring Leslie Howard, Laurence Olivier, Anton Walbrook, and Raymond Massey. I'll read it to you. A Nazi U-boat is sunk by the Canadian Air Force, and all of the crew are lost except 6 men who have been sent ashore before the attack. And these 6 men are trying to get from Canada to the United States, which is still a neutral country, before 1941. And so these 6 U-boat men are traveling across Canada, and they meet people like Laurence Olivier's character, who is a French-Canadian trapper with an unbelievably bad accent. Really interesting human story, and very different for a war movie from 1941. I really like this one too, because in spite of the fact that they're at war with the Germans, Powell and Pressburger actually humanized these characters in a way that annoyed the hell out of the English authorities. Did I show you the inside? No, I didn't show you the inside. I'm getting all over the place here. Bear with me, okay? There is Valerie Hobson and Conrad Beat and Sebastian Shaw from The Spy in Black. And there's the disc. Okay, let's move on. 49th Parallel. There's the disc. There's some of the action from the movie. Needless to say, I recommend all these films. I've seen them all, and they just keep getting better as we move along. Life and Death of Colonel Blimp with Anton Walbrook, Deborah Carr, Roger Livesey. This movie is incredible. There's a scene near the end of this film where Anton Walbrook's character, Theo Kretschmer-Schuldorf, is talking to the English authorities about why he should be a refugee. And that scene, every time I watch it, it moves me to tears. And I'm not somebody that's prone to tears. I'll read you the blurb. The experiences of a British officer, Clive Candy, through the trials and tribulations of 3 wars, 3 loves, and a lifelong friendship across enemy lines. The friendship between Clive Candy and Theo Kretschmer-Schuldorf is magnificent in this film. I just love this movie. Unreservedly, no notes. Inside you get the disc, and you get a disc of extras. And there is Clive Candy, and under here you get Deborah Carr's character. She plays 3 different women in this movie, and she is brilliant in playing all of them. There is a Criterion edition of this one, which I already have, but the movie is magnificent. Extras on this, 1080p high def from a 4K restoration, which was done by a whole bunch of different organizations together. Audio commentary by film historian and filmmaker Daniel Kremer. The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, an alternate version in standard def. A breakthrough, an interview with Powell and Pressburger film scholar Ian Christie. An evolving propaganda, an interview with author Charles Drazin from 2025. Martin Scorsese restoration piece. Scorsese was involved with the restoration. He and Michael Powell were great friends at the end of Michael Powell's life. A profile of the life and death of Colonel Blimp documentary and a photo gallery. So there's a ton of stuff in there. This next one's a Powell and Pressburger rarity, a hidden gem, about life on the home front during the war, in and around the city of Canterbury. Very odd film in some ways, but incredible. Stars Eric Portman, Sheila Sim, Dennis Price, and Sergeant John Sweet. They got an American soldier to play an American soldier in this film. A Canterbury Tale. 4 people, each with their own blessings or penance to seek, journey to Canterbury to find their answers. It's a version of Chaucer's A Canterbury Tale, updated for World War II. Extras on here, 1080p high def. Audio commentary by film script supervisor Paddy Arnold, second assistant director Jim Popple, and author Paul Tritton from 2025. The assistant director is still alive. Popple's Pilgrimage, an interview with second assistant director Jim Popple from 2025. Listening to Britain, an interview with Powell and Pressburger film scholar Ian Christie. Connecting with the Magic, an interview with film critic Kim Newman from 2025. A Continual Revelation, an interview with author Charles Barr. And an American version excerpts starring Kim Hunter. So you've got all of that in there. Then we get a movie that everybody I know has seen that loves. You can say that about any Powell and Pressburger movie, really. A Matter of Life and Death. David Niven, Raymond Massey, Roger Livesey, Kim Hunter. Fantastic film. I'm not a big guy for afterlife films, but this is the exception. When a young RAF pilot, played by David Niven, miraculously survives bailing out of his aeroplane without a parachute, he falls in love with an American radio operator, but the officials in the other world realize their mistake and dispatch an angel to collect him. The angel is played by Marius Goring and is fantastic. This one is a humanitarian film. Doesn't matter whether you're religious or not, you're going to get a lot out of this one. 1080p high def. Audio commentary by film historian author Stuart Galbraith IV from 2025. Memories Matter, an interview with assistant editor Jim Popple from 2025. Heaven Delayed, an interview with Powell and Pressburger film scholar Ian Christie. Unexpected Realism, an interview with author Charles Drazin from 2025. The Colour Merchant, short film by the cinematographer Jack Carter from 1998. Inside, you get David Niven and Kim Hunter, and you get the disc. Another fantastic film. And then we get an incredible film. A community of nuns high in the Himalayas find their spiritual aims are hampered by the arrival of a beautiful native girl and a young general. Black Narcissus with Deborah Carr. Cebu is the young prince. David Farrar and Flora Robertson. This one from 1947. Incredible movie. So powerful, so evocative of its location, even though it was made on a film set in England. Special features, high-def presentation, of course. Audio commentary by author critic Kat Ellinger, and I have a lot of fondness for what Kat does. Audio commentary by co-director Michael Powell and filmmaker Martin Scorsese. Like I said, they were friends. The Strange and the Transgressive, an interview with film critic Hannah McGill from 2025. Alchemy and Reckoning, interview with Powell and Pressburger film scholar Ian Christie. Women at War, a video essay by critic film historian Pamela Hutchinson from 2025. A profile of Black Narcissus documentary. Painting with Light, a documentary on the cinematographer Jack Carter. I've seen that documentary and it's really good. Trailers from Hell, Neil LaBute on Black Narcissus, and a theatrical trailer. There's David Farrar and a couple of the nuns. And there is your disc. This is a magnificent box set. Beg, borrow, or steal to get this one. It is just incredible. All of these movies put together, the documentation and the extras, are incredibly well curated. I hope that the second box set has some of my other Powell and Pressburger favorites. Movies like I Know Where I'm Going, which I love. I'm blown away by that one. Words are starting to fail me on this one. It is just incredible. So let me know which of all these movies that I've shown you want to see and which ones you want to get a copy of. And let me know which among the Powell and Pressburger box set you really love, because I know a lot of people who hold the works of Powell and Pressburger in incredibly high regard. We've got the 4Ks, and we've also got The Lady Vanishes and the 39 Steps. Amazing stuff. And thank you very much to Imprint Via Vision for sending these out for me to review. Just blown away by them. I do have my qualms with the ending of Point Break and some of the aspects of Rain Man, but that's always going to happen with certain films of a certain vintage. But these two, in spite of the fact they're remakes of Hitchcock films, they're entertaining. They're fun. They're not meant to be taken seriously. And as far as these ones are concerned, they're immensely enjoyable, immensely human and humane. And there are aspects of humor in some of them. So that's what I got for you this time around. Incredible box set, 2 interesting 4Ks, and a double feature of films that otherwise would have been forgotten. I mean, I haven't seen the 39 Steps and The Lady Vanishes since VHS days, though I did find a copy of the 39 Steps on DVD from about 20 years ago in an op shop about a year ago. Nonetheless, I'm glad for the upgrade. I think they're honest little films. If you ignore the fact that they are remakes, you can have a great time watching them. That's what I got for you this time. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do the usual things. Like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think of these movies. You can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by becoming a patron at patreon.com/TerryTalksMovies. Next up, we've got the Wednesday video, and I'm not sure what I'm doing for that, but I've got some kooky ideas I'm playing with. Then, of course, we have Science Fiction Saturday, and the week rolls on. It's an endless Sisyphean task for me. So, until next time, watch some good movies, watch some bad movies. Watch some Powell and Pressburger. You're not going to be a worse person afterwards. And I'll catch you next time.
The night is a shadow, smooth and deep. The city hums low, its secrets keep.